So, a new series I'm going to start is based on my love of, if you know me, this sounds preposterous, Bob Dylan. Pretentious hipster draped in Buffalo Bills, Pokemon, and Dragon Ball Z pajamas, intentionally making sure the hat and the Pokemon sweatshirt matched, liking Bob Dylan. Oh, I took that poster down. Oh, wait, no. Uh, I'm using the laptop, so I can't tell. There's a Bob Dylan poster. There we go. Um, and I did what had to be a TED Talk from a Harvard professor level of presentation of the chorus of Mr. Tambourine Man before. So I thought, well, let's expand it, and we'll discuss, the meaning of some of his, maybe even more easier to understand and comprehend songs than something called Mr. Tambourine Man. What the fuck does that mean? Well, to start off, we're going to start with the most straightforward song he's ever written, Subterranean Homesick Blues. I know what you're thinking. I'm tired of living on the surface world and I miss my family back home. But to make ends meet, I actually have to work here as a debt collector, and I have to do it overtime to the point where I have a second apartment up here. I only go underground for the weekends, which makes it even that much worse. That's your immediate thought when you hear that song name, right? There's no confusion over what it should be. Well, amazingly, that's not what it's about, I don't think. But folks, thankfully, I did all the thinking for you by doing even less than what anyone else would do. All right. I dissected this song like I plan to with other Bob Dylan songs and made sure that we all are on the same page. What the hell this guy that's usually very succinct with his wording meant. Sometimes people are confused. Some people don't even like Bob Dylan, but I don't blame people for being uninteresting. It's a free country. Anyway, let's start off. In fact, because it's one of my videos, and whenever I need some mojo, I have to make fun of the fact that I'm going to light a cigarette. I'm going to do that. Also, this is the same day I posted the video earlier that I even forgot about. Oh, yeah, the nutrition freaks. And my face has gained 3 times its body weight since then. So, uh, Irish curse, anyway. The fuck. I think I might just be overheated trying to seem cool with this unnecessary getup. I'm gonna take the hat off. See if that cools my face down. And then, oh, it already looks better. Well, you want to look nice for the internet, right? Anyway, back to making sense of a song even more straightforward than She Loves You. Even adding yeah, 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 I'd say reinforcing the whole She Loves You part doesn't compare to this song, even though, again, it's not about being a homesick mole person. So let's start, shall we? Well, it starts off going, Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. Right away, the setting and the plot is pretty clear. The main character is clearly some sort of major drug addict. I'm assuming meth or cocaine because Johnny's in the basement. Probably meth because you would assume Sudafed. And while you're just sort of walking around waiting for him to fucking finish, You got your theories about the government, man, why they're just holding us down, man, and why is the government, not giving me free meth, man? That's the Democrats for you. Tax and spend, and this is what they do it on. Obamacare, my ass. And then the man in the trench coat, badge off, laid off. Oh, that sounds like a disgraced former undercover cop that took things too far. But now he's the best dealer in the world because he still has friends within the force and the DEA. It's a brotherhood that never ends. He says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. Well, now I wonder, did he get canned for trying to file some sort of bullshit disability? People don't stand for that shit. I know from experience, like, even you got that bad cough, they'll offer you a desk job at the very least, so you can avoid paying you unemployment or whatever. Like, Jesus, you fucked that up, kid. That was a disgraced former DEA agent. Because then it goes to say, look out, kid. Different kid. It's something you did. Well, obviously it's something you did. You bought drugs from, granted, no longer on the force, but at least some form of an undercover cop. All right? You did something bad. God knows when, but you're going to do it again. Obviously you're going to do it again. Of course you're going to do it again. You're a drug addict. You don't care it's an undercover cop that's ratting you out to his fucking friends in the force and the DA. All just so they'll supply him with the drugs they confiscate that they, haven't already partied with, with him with. I mean, this is just basic American politics. So God knows when you're doing it again. You need drugs. You'll buy them from freaking anyone. And this is, of course, after you've robbed your grandparents of the last remaining jewelry that they have from their bubby. Well, after that, you better duck down the alleyway. Duh. Looking for a new friend. Double duh. The man in the coonskin cap by the pig pen. Okay, maybe not him. He wants $11 bills, but you only got 10. Okay, a couple of things here. First off, clearly you need drugs. You're freaked out by the guy in the coonskin cap by a pig pen in an alley in the middle of the city. Normally, this would be a situation where you want to get the fuck out of there, cop chase or no cop chase. That's not the situation you're in. So you duck down the alleyway, but you want a new friend because you're bugging the fuck out. And who knows? Maybe it's not about meth. Maybe meet a really good connection. Obviously, though, a man in a coonskin cap by a pig pen in an alley has drugs. So you definitely met a new friend. You know what I mean? And this guy is such a good friend. He's like, dude, I know you're in a hole. I've been where you are. Like, I've been duped by guys that have a bad cough and got laid off. Here's $11 worth of meth. You only got 10. You owe me that extra dollar. How's that? I'll kill you if I don't get it, because I'm on meth too. But I'll kill you if I don't get that extra $1. So that all checks out pretty good. But then let's even go to the pig pen in the alley. This sounds like an urban farming movement to me. Ooh, progressive, right? Now, you don't want the conservative assholes, making the progressives that want to urban farm seem like the drug addicts in the alley. Even if they're both, it's no one's fucking right to judge. Some people just need help. And some people make the best out of bad situations, and maybe they're good for the planet. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Asshole. I can't believe you listened to this whole song that didn't even occur to you before the halfway point. Anyway. Well, the next verse. Maggie comes fleet-foot. What the fuck does fleet-foot mean? We've all heard that. I looked it up. Abrupt, expeditious, hasty, nimble, quick, and someone fast on their feet in general. Gay. Anyway, Maggie comes fleet-foot, face full of black soot. Oh, blackface. Not good. No. I'm already I'm already starting to not trust Maggie and that pig farm of hers. You know what I mean? Something about Maggie and her farm is starting to piss me off already. But she's talking that the heat put plants in the bed, bud. Well, now I'm interested. Is there a greenhouse here in this alleyway? Is this actually a real progressive urban farm? Where was the heat source that put plants in the bed? Maybe Maggie doesn't suck. But then you find out the phone's tapped anyway. Oh, shit. Well, I mean, in general, it is when it comes to browsing the internet and, AT&T, but you were hoping Maggie was chill. But then Maggie says the many say they must burst in early May, orders from the DA. Oh my God, are you kidding me? She's working out a fucking double cross with the DA. It's gonna happen in May. Or maybe it won't. She's saying it must happen in May, so it happens in April. Maggie's a fucking sellout. And you know what? You're about to find out the song after the next song. She's a fucking cunt in general, and her whole family sucks. And you are the idiot that started working for her goddamn pig farm in the middle of an alley, even though you were enticed by the fact it sounded like a progressive urban greenhouse. It's bullshit. Anyway. Well, look out, kid. Doesn't matter what you did. Well, in general, but also based on everything, doesn't that kind of also sound like all caps are bastards? Just leave the kid alone. He's been through enough. You better walk on your tiptoes and don't try no-dos. Well, first off, if you're on any kind of drugs, especially anything you call a no-dos, don't be on your tiptoes. That is dangerous. There's very few drugs that, even marijuana with a tolerance, you're risking something being on your tiptoes. Like, that's just stupid. But when you say no dose, that either means that's just back to the meth. I was gonna say, like, that's Adderall, but that's just meth for college students, 33-year-old adults, and but. It's really hard if you're not prescribed that stuff to stay on your tiptoes without losing your shit. Oh, God. You know what I mean? Well, you better stay away from those that carry around a fire hose. Well, because as we've established, all cops are bastards, and you're hopped up on drugs, you just don't trust public servants in general. So when the firemen show up, you're just like, get the fuck away from me, man. You're part of the system. Even though they're the ones trying to put out the goddamn meth lab explosion that happened, and you were too high to even notice, all right? Like, that's bad advice right there. I trust anyone that carries a fire hose. Unless they shouldn't be carrying a fire hose, in which case you shouldn't trust them. In fact, crap. Well, just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to trust anybody that owns a fire hose. Good advice after all. All right. Next line. Keep a clean nose. That didn't work out. Next lines. Wear the plain clothes. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. All right, this is your friend saying, man, chill the fuck out, okay? Just play it cool. You're wearing your normal, not piss-covered clothes. You don't need a drug addict to tell you where the cop tells you goes, okay? Just shut the fuck up about windmills because you're starting to make me bug out, man, and we gotta be quiet. Well, then obviously from then it's get sick and get well. Rehab, okay? Duh. Then it's hang around an inkwell, ring bell, hard to tell if anything it's gonna sell. Well, I should have to explain that one to you guys, but I guess I'm going to have to. Hang around an inkwell. You're in rehab. So you're in there and you're trying to figure out ways to dodge responsibility, but still get credit for thinking you did a good thing. Write a book. Obviously. So, hang around that inkwell. I mean, if anything, it's going to sell. It's kind of hard to tell, but if anything, they're going to ring the bell at the Barnes and Noble to get your service. And it's not like you weren't patient. Ringing the bell right away, that's rude. You know that. But you can see the staff, they've made eye contact with you. They're just bitter because they're not going to get the bonuses. The Barnes and Noble 15 miles down, the next closest one's 15 miles away, is getting the bonuses because they're not all bitter pricks like you, because you're like, oh, no one wants to buy printed books anywhere. Well, you know why they got the bonus? Because they sold the most fucking books in the state. Apparently, even though it's because it's Barnes and Noble, there's not a ton of them anymore. But it's not like you're driving to another county. The next closest one, there's a market for books. That's on you guys. And being bitter about it, it's not gonna fucking help. Like, Jesus Christ on the cross. So you ring the bell, and it pisses you off because you're trying to buy a copy of your own book because you're so damaged that no one else will buy it. You're smashing on the bell because you try hard to get barred and you relapsed, all right? God damn it. You think you're going to get back and write Braille just because for one time you were really high and you thought, hey, I know how to, I know how to write Braille out of nowhere, but it's going to make way more sense even for the people with sight than the blind people. And it's one of those things that sometimes when you're wasted, you're on drugs, or you're drunk, you're like, this made sense. This was a creative fucking bridge to fucking Narnia or whatever that dumbass place was called. And here we go. Okay, writing Braille. Okay, what's the second step after even thinking of that? Finding out how to write Braille. I was going to figure this out on my own. Well, it would have been good to have a first step there. Anyway, well, I relapsed on drugs. That's pretty much essentially all I got to say, Well, then, get jail, jump bail, join the army if you fail. Oh, man, Uncle Sam was waiting for this. Yes! You got clean. You're going to say you're going to say you stay clean. You got out. And who else takes you in but the loving hands of death? Oh, the army doesn't care about your violent past. They encourage it. Hell, they test, unapproved versions of Adderall on you, so you'll be even more violent. It's all public record anyway. So you're in the army, and, well, you're doing a lot of drugs, and this is good. You know what? If I was back in Texas, and I was doing street crank, and I wanted to mass kill people, I could have just open carried and gone to any elementary school I pleased, which sounds dark, except for the fact that if you join the army, you can just drone strike any Middle Eastern elementary school you please. But you're not close enough to the action. You're joined the army. You're committed for this. You are willing to die for your country. The wrong parts of your country that are going to completely six-time losers hang around the theaters. Oh, I missed some. Well, that happens when you get enough, when you take enough bullets to the head in the army and do too many non-FDA regulated drugs. So get jail, jump bail, join the army if you fail. Look out, kid, you're going to get hit. Well, with bullets and drone strikes, yeah. And most of that's friendly fire at this point. I mean, people don't want you to know that because why on earth would anybody want you to know that? I mean, Pat Tillman, for the love of God, it doesn't matter. I live in Buffalo. The tides are coming to us. When the end of the world happens, I can just kick back and think about, oh, I tried to warn them, but not really. Look out, kid, you're going to get hit with bullets and drone strikes. But users, cheaters, again, it's like, that goes back to the sort of friendly fire generating profit thing. Using you, cheating you, it's not good. 6-time losers hang around the theaters. Man, I miss those days. I was a 6-time loser, and you know what? That was paradise. Took me too many times for the man to show me that society, that ain't for me. All I need is one square and the company of all the toothless meth heads that need money for blow by sucking my cock with that toothless meth head and inspiration and invigoration. Those were the days instead of blowing up elementary schools without being in front of the elementary school, that is. Maybe one day I'll get out of here. I'll get back to that life. Girl by the whirlpool looking for a new fool. You're messed up on the fucking drugs, and you're looking at pictures of all the people's sweethearts back home next to a jacuzzi, and you think to themselves, I'm gonna fuck her as soon as I get home. And you look around your bunk and you have all these screenshots of Pornhub you were able to, print before the library kicked you out in time. So at least we're totally lonely, but still, that girl by the whirlpool, she's looking for a new fool. Oh, God. Don't follow leaders. Duh. Watch your parking meters. Well, that just means someone in the platoon brought stronger street drugs that you missed for everyone to enjoy, and you're like, that's it. Dishonorable discharge it is for me, baby. So it's get born, keep warm, short pants romance, learn to dance, get dressed, get blessed, try to be a success. Again, straightforward, but because there's idiots out there, I suppose that I have to wipe their brains' asses for them. All right. Get born. You are reborn in your natural state as a complete boil on the state as far as Republicans go. So there, you're already off to a great start. Keep warm. Get dressed. Great steps for being homeless. All right. Short pants. You know. I prefer you do long pants, but it's better than no pants. For the love of God, wear pants if you're homeless, especially. All right. So yeah, I don't care about being warm. Pants. All right. But romance. You found the woman of your dreams because she's just like you. She's gone through the same stuff. She's on the same spot. And just like the dudes that you let blow you, she doesn't have teeth. So it's not gay anymore. Thank God for that. Oh, God. I mean, you're already homeless and dishonorably discharged, but you don't need to be fucking, I don't care. It's 2023. I'm homeless. I don't subscribe to anyone's rules. No society's rules. But get blessed while trying to be a success. Learn to dance. Learn to dance really well so that rich sophisticates will flip pennies into your eye. You collect them and say, thank you, sir. May I have another? And they say, no. In fact, give me that one back because God knows what you're going to spend it on. Food? I'd rather you suck dick for drugs. Just not in front of my face because otherwise I might feel bad for you. Because then you go to the next line, please her, please him. Well, now what the fuck else are you supposed to like? Now you don't have a choice. You're gonna have to you start punching your own teeth out so you can blow as good as your girlfriend can. Like, damn it! But with all the success you have from toothless dancing and then blowing the sophisticates when their wives aren't looking, they went to go purse shopping or something that made them go, ooh, yes. You know, whatever rich cunts do. You can now buy gifts for your homeless ex. You worked so hard to put a smile on her face, you sacrificed everything. And the nothing in the world could no amount of time and energy in the world could replace that one moment, except for the drugs. But you know, I I could have spent that money on drugs, or maybe even pawned the gifts for more money. Or it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But then you get to don't steal, don't lift. Well, you don't need to anymore, right? Because you're great at sucking dick now. You've knocked all your teeth out. Your girlfriend's the best. She's shown you the tricks. You don't need to do that. 20 years of school and they put you on the day shift. Shit. Well, any chance I had of trying to work myself up into society should just easily be shattered by this point, right? So, okay. All right, stealing. Let's do it. I'm tired of sucking dick. There's got to be an alternative. Stealing. Let's do it. Okay. So look out, kid. They keep it all hid. Security cameras and shit like that. You got to be vigilant. First night of stealing. You better be shadowing someone. Okay. You don't want to go on your first night alone. All right. Granted, be careful though, because when you get caught, they fucking push you out of the way, and they're like, I can't believe the whole shadowing burglar program still exists. Like, can't these guys get a different internship for college credit anyway? So then you get caught. You better jump down a manhole and light yourself a candle. Terrible strategy for escape. You thought of it when you were on drugs, and it's another one of those things that it made so much sense then. You could try to remember why did it now when you were more clear-headed. Like, or maybe you were more, jonesing. I'm about to die from withdrawals if I don't, steal this guy's shit and get drugs sort of mindset. Either way, you've learned from this. There's no excuse. Anyway, lighting a candle, that's just lazy. And it made sense to you, at least in one way. You do remember the one way it made sense was, well, at least I'll do it like the pioneers. You know what I mean? Like when they were crawling through, swamps of shit to avoid the redcoats, like they didn't have no goddamn flashlights, let alone smartphones with a flashlight, all right? But sometimes it's not smart to rough it, because then you have to look out, kid, because then you better jump down a man. So once you've jumped down the manhole and lit yourself a candle, I'm not using notes. One important note, as is the next line in the song, and thank God for that in case you were confused, don't wear sandals. Don't be trying to escape from the feds cranked on whatever in sandals. That's just gross. And there's just shit pooling in between your toes, which is nasty enough. But if you're either completely losing your mind on fucking, meth and speed or whatever, or you're coming down from it and relapsing, the shit between your toes, that only multiplies. Even worse than it possibly could be when you're sober. So it's like, remember that. Well, next line. Don't want to be a bum. Thanks. I'm in the sewer. I clearly wasn't paying attention or warned in time not to wear sandals. Maybe that one's on me. And you're saying the best course of action is not to be a bum. Well, in general, had I known that before my dad beat the shit out of me when I was 10, this would have been good information to know. Little late for that, you know what I mean? That seems a little snarky, kind of just like, that seems like you're actually one of the sophisticates hurling pennies into my eyes. Better chew gum. Well, yeah, thanks for rubbing it in more that my only source of food comes from the dumpster behind the Bazooka Joe factory, okay? Thanks. Gum isn't great. You get cranky off of the lack of nutrients. Add that with the drugs and the stress of running through the sewer with shit pulled in your toes. It's been a bad day. You don't have to really be like fucking, you don't need to rub it in anymore.
The shit's already rubbed into my toenails enough, okay? And then finally, the pump don't work because the vandals took the handles. And you're like, oh, for the love of God, that was my only source of water. Clean fucking water. Like, ugh. Stealing water from the water hydrants was my only source. But thankfully, the firemen are there to fix the hydrant. They even give you a wrench. And you look up to them and be like, thanks, but why? And it's like, hey, trust those that carry around a fire hose. And then you become a millionaire. And then, I don't know, your balls. Your balls.